So this is something I'm pretty passionate about, and I thought I would share this with everybody today. Very cool. That last talk, by the way, was really cool to watch. So nice job. So one of the things about being a technologist is that we're all learning, right? And so even in this conference, certainly, watching the previous lightning talk, watching all the talks this morning, we're all kind of learning as part of our jobs and as part of our careers. And so I want to ask you a question kind of to start out with is how do you learn? And so you might be doing things like online courses. Maybe you do courses on Egghead or Thinkster or Pluralsight. Maybe you read blog articles, or you read books or other technical journals or something like that. Maybe you attend workshops or conferences like this. And so you kind of get that in person, if you will, kind of teaching opportunity. But really, what I want to challenge us with today is what do you do with what you learn? So you go out there, you learn something, and then what do you do with it? And you kind of have two choices. So you can learn in private or you can learn in public. And I get it. Like we all have jobs. You got to get that PR in. You don't always have time to learn in public. I completely understand. And I'm certainly not trying to embrace like a hustle culture here. But I do want to challenge us to maybe think about learning in public. And I think that hopefully this isn't being blocked by Zoom. But anyways, I think that learning in public will actually boost your career. And let me talk a little bit about that. So what are the benefits to learning in public? Well, first of all, you can open source what you know. How about spark some joy in others, right? Like Maria Kondo, like spark that joy of like, teaching somebody something. You can pass on what you learn for your future self. So one of the things I've done is I've written blog articles, and then honestly, like 6 months later, I might be in a project and I'm like, oh shoot, how did I do that? And then I go and check out my blog article or whatever it is that I wrote, and I can almost kind of teach and pass on that knowledge to my future self. Fame, maybe, probably not. But I think you can boost your career. So I think that's certainly something that can result as a benefit of learning in public. I also want to stress that I think learning in public is kind of like a hike, not a sprint. And so, how do you start learning in public? Well, I think kind of like a hike, you just start small, right? You just kind of start out on this adventure. And the other thing you need to think about is if you start learning in public, don't worry about likes. Don't worry about how many shares you get, how many retweets, how many tacos, how many emojis, how many hearts, how many gizmos, whatever. Just do it for you. Get out there, put yourself, kind of put your knowledge out there and share it with the world. And do it for your future self and maybe the future past you. So at this point, maybe you're wondering, all right, this sounds kind of neat, like learning in public. I like it. This is a neat concept. So rather than taking what I learn and just kind of keeping it to myself, if I learn something, I can share that out with kind of everybody else. And so you could do things like write blog posts. It's a great way to do it. There's a lot of great, tools out there. Dev.to is a great resource for that. 11t is a great kind of static site generator that you can use for creating blog posts. You can also go out there and contribute to open source, code. So, kind of help pick up an issue or submit a PR. The other thing that you can do is you can also pick up what somebody else leaves down. So a lot of times, maybe there's a project out there that's kind of abandoned, or maybe somebody starts something with a great idea and you're like, oh, that's really cool, but it doesn't really take off. So you can go out and just kind of pick something up that somebody else kind of started or put down and pick it up and run with it. And that's another great way to learn in public. I also created a website called lookout.dev that makes it easy to learn in public. So what you can do is you go on lookout.dev, sign up for an account, and then you can create what's called a lookout and share what you learn. And so you just give it a quick description. You can add some things to avoid, do, consider, and why. And then you can add some code snippets of things maybe to avoid and maybe some things that you should do. And with that, thank you. I appreciate your time. It's been a great conference so far, and enjoy the rest of your conference.